Hi everyone, just after today's lesson I thought I would do a little video just to go through another example on how tax can impact the producer and the consumer, because it is just really an important concept to understand, and you probably will get something similar to this in an assessment or an exam. Okay, alright, so on the board I've already got a supply and demand graph already drawn up, and it just shows one supply line, okay, and one demand curve. So I've already plotted it out, but we've got price on here, so this is going up by dollar units, and then we've got quantity starting from 10 and going up all the way to 200. So our price equilibrium at the moment is $9, and the quantity equilibrium is $100. So yeah, the question is, how does tax affect consumers and producers? So let's just say, for example, that there's a $3 tax, okay? So, and this is similar to the example that we worked through in class, okay? So if there's a $3 tax, the first thing that you need to do is draw a new supply curve, and we know that tax is a production cost, so that's going to decrease our supply and shift it to the left, okay? So all we do is look at our prices, and we just need to add $3 on top of the supply curve. So we can pick any point of the existing supply curve, add $3, and then we'll end up with a new one, okay? So 9 will go up to 12, okay? And so on. So this one down here is at 5, so that's gonna go up to $8, okay? I'm just shortcutting here, but this one here is at $14, so that'll go up to $17, which is at the very top of my thing. So it's always good to be more precise, okay, when you do it, but for this example, I'm just going to basically join the dots, okay? So I draw my new supply curve. Okay. All right, so that is now called S2, or you can just call it S plus tax, so supply plus tax, okay? Doesn't really matter as long as you label it, okay? So now we have a new equilibrium point, okay? So which is right here. Okay, so it was there, now it's here. So our new equilibrium price, if we go across, it's actually $11, and our new quantity is 80. Okay, so I can label that as Q2 and our new price equilibrium as P2. Okay, so now that we've worked out our new equilibrium price and quantity, we can work out how much of that $3 tax per unit is being paid for by the consumer and by the producer. Okay, so first of all, the tax box, okay, so how much is the government actually raising, okay? So what we do is we look at the new price and we go, okay, well, it's 11 minus the $3, so the $3 per unit, times the quantity. So the new quantity, okay, is 80, $3, so government tax revenue is $3 per unit times 80 units that are being sold, $240. Okay, so that's what they're raising by putting this tax in place. All right, the original price for the consumer. This is how we work out how much of the tax, that $3 tax, the consumer pays and the producer pays. Original price paid, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, okay? That was the initial equilibrium, wasn't it? $9, okay? The new price on the shelf, okay, is $11. That's our new equilibrium price, okay? So 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, okay? All right, so we know the difference there is $2. So the consumers were paying 9, now they're paying 11, so it's an extra $2, okay, caused by that $3 tax. So we can say the consumer pays $2, okay? And we can draw that on our graph. So from this point, which is the price on the shelf, okay, down $2, which is level with the previous equilibrium point, and across, okay? So we can say that part there of that tax revenue box is paid for by the consumer, okay? Why is it less for the producer? Because they have to pay the tax. So even though they've got $11 in their hand, okay, so the consumer said, thank you very much, here's $11, I've got $11, they've got to say, now I've actually got to take $3 out of that and give it to the government, okay? So through this dollars, 2 plus 1, all the way, is coming up here, okay, to the government, all right? So what do we actually have left for the producer? $5, $7, $8, okay? So they were originally, from the customer, getting $9, they didn't pay any tax. Now they're only getting $8, okay? So 9 take 8 is $1. So out of that $3, the producer is paying $1 of it, okay? And we can see that on this box, okay? So that was the original price, $9. Coming down that extra dollar though on that tax revenue box, which is equal to $8, that's the producer burden of the tax, okay? So the producer pays $1, okay? So hopefully that has just helped you to clarify, I guess, anything in relation to how tax affects producer and consumer. This is inelastic, okay? So one thing I didn't say at the start, it's an inelastic demand, or relatively inelastic, okay? So it is a bit steeper than usual, okay? And whenever it's inelastic, so insensitive to price, it means that consumers aren't going to change the quantity that they're buying too much, okay? Which means that the burden ends up on the consumer, okay? And they're still like, well, I'm willing to buy it, I still want it. They're paying most of the tax, okay, for inelastic goods. Producers, they're paying less, okay, so less of a burden on the producers for inelastic goods. And that's because the government really doesn't want to destroy any business or industry. They're important to our economic growth, so they don't want to do that to business, okay? They want to put most of that burden onto the consumers, knowing that it's still necessary, urgent, there's little substitutes, okay? So looking at those factors involved. That's the reason why governments will always tax inelastic goods, okay? They're not going to tax products that are elastic, because this quantity will change too much, okay? If price goes up, law of demand, okay? The quantity will go down too much. This government revenue will be impacted a lot, okay? So they'll forecast a certain amount, but it'll actually end up being less, because consumers will respond by saying, look, I'm not going to buy that much anymore. And most of the burden, because this slope changes, will go onto the producer, okay? So governments will tax goods with inelastic demand. All right, hopefully that's helped, okay? Good luck with your test tomorrow.